Hello and welcome to Urban Legends, the hit internet podcast about urban legends and other similar topics. I'm one of your hosts, Chris Flynn, and all I need in this life of sin is me and...
Neil, but
Hello, Neil. How you
together.
doing?
Yeah, good man, good. How's things?
Very good. Do you know what? At the moment, I am muy contento.
Mm. It's
Yeah,
breaking up the Spanish there. That's always
yeah. I know. I'm
la
now.
comunicado español.
Mi hablo español muy robótico.
Mm.
Um, yeah, well, Neil, once you're up at level 23 on Duolingo, do you know what
Oh,
you start dropping it into
that owl
sentences?
start getting a little bit fancy.
The owl and me have got it going on.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Me and Duo. Yeah, no, I'm really enjoying learning it actually more than I ever did when I was in school because it makes more sense to me now because you can see with a lot of words, you can see kind of like the original root, and we have similar words in England.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, absolutely.
like nubilo being cloud is like nubilo sound it sounds like a cloud, sort
Mm,
of like
yeah,
cumulonimbus. It's like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's got that same thing. So that's how I'm kind of remembering it in a weird way. That and by attaching it to humans. So like dinner is Senna, spelled exactly the same as the wrestler and action star John Cena.
Oh, okay.
Sinner. It's the same. So John Dinner. That's his name.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. Do you like having John dinners? They're all right, aren't they? Big John dinners.
John Dennis. I quite liked him in what was it called? Peace Man. No, wasn't that? Whatever.
Peacemaker.
Peacemaker. That's the one. I've forgot the name there, but yeah,
Yeah,
surprisingly good. I thought I'd
he
never.
se- he seems a bit of a laugh for a man who spends a lot of time in the gym, doesn't he?
Yeah, to be fair, he doesn't seem to take himself too seriously. So compared to, I mean,
Us.
The Rock Johnson or us, yeah, his
Um,
getting shit done desk, hilarious.
oh, has he got a getting shit done desk?
Yeah, he tweets
Really?
about it. Yeah,
He tweets about it.
yeah.
Oh, good for him.
This
Do you
is
know
my
what?
GST desk.
So I've got some respect for Dwayne The
Good
Rock
luck to him for
Johnson.
carving out a career. He just
He's
takes
very
himself too
very so,
seriously.
but
I
he's
think like
very
you hear about things like because him and Statham and that apparently they got in their contracts like
Statham.
if they have fights,
What are
they're
you
not
talking
nobody's
about?
allowed to get more punches in and all this sort of thing on screen. Which just you compare that to like Cena or Batista, who've just like tried to do like Cena's gone down the comedy roles, hasn't he? And Batista's impressed me quite a bit. That
Mm.
he's just going for like good roles. You know,
Um, yeah, I mean, but I
he's in a
mean,
Blade Runner sequel, man. He was really good.
who was
Is it Batista?
Batista? Oh
Yeah,
yeah, Kevin Batista. I've got no problem
I
with
don't know what
Kevin.
his name is. Yeah,
Kevin,
big lads.
big lad, big Kev,
Yeah,
big
I
Kev
want to say
from.
Jean-Luc Batista, but I don't think that's right. So I'm not really wrestling. It was all on Sky when I was a kid, so we didn't watch any of the wrestling.
No, no, we didn't
But
have that.
I never had
Uh,
Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Big Kevin Batista
They could
from
believe it.
up the flats.
Yeah, big unit. Yeah, you don't want to mess
Big
with him.
unit. He orders two breakfasts down a cafe.
He didn't look
Um,
that tall though. I don't know if it's because he's so fucking wide. He probably is about 6'2", but he's like
yeah,
I
I'm
think because
not
he's so
sure.
bleeding wide. And Andrew Hammond said that he was in that Bond movie and he was towering over what's his face,
Daniel
Daniel
Craig.
Craig. Well, I
Yeah,
don't
but
think he's
he
exactly that short. Or is he?
isn't.
Is he a wee lad?
I
I
mean, I
don't
can
know with
find
actors because they're. It's like
uh,
Tom Cruise. You wouldn't know.
Kevin Batista.
Is that his name? I don't know.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
This is good. This is neither good audio nor visual content.
I know he's well, Neil. He's my height,
Six
so
three.
6'4". Well, I
Six
don't know
four.
why you always knock on fucking inch off me. You're such a baby.
Yeah.
I'm 194 centimeters.
Oh,
So is
sorry,
he.
6'9".
No, I'm not 6'9" either.
Yeah.
I'm perfect. I'm 6'4", the perfect height.
Fair
Perfect
enough.
height for a perfect shite. Um, yeah, no, big lad. God, wrestling. How do we get into
Well, I mean,
that?
he must be seriously wide then because he just always looks. Yeah.
Yeah,
He's six
yeah.
four. Because I was going to say,
He's got
very hench.
he's got good bones, isn't he?
Yeah,
Good
yeah.
bones. Good bones.
Oh,
Nice and broad.
coffee
Thanks and
maker's going to
muscle
have
'em.
his work cut out for him when he goes in. Tell you what.
Oh, if it was, if I was that coffee maker, I'd simply put him in a bean bag that I'd empty all the beans out. because then you can just zip
Yeah,
around. Lovely vacuum
nice.
packet in the freezer.
Yeah,
So,
job
don't
done.
know. I'm maybe revealing too much here on the
Yeah, this is
podcast.
this your Dexter.
So, how have you been, Neil? Have you been enjoying the improvement in the weather? You're a weather guy, aren't you?
Yeah, go back to
Whether
the
whether
old
whether we
standby. The
whether
weather.
we like it or not, you're a weather guy.
You brought it up, I think, with mine,
Hmm.
Chris. Yeah, no, it's yeah, no, I prefer the longer days. Yes,
Longer
it's nice and
days.
sunny. Yeah,
It's nice, isn't it?
went out for a walk before the podcast.
How was it?
Getting out about it was very nice. Nice to get out in the sun, getting a bit of vitamin D.
Did you see anyone? Did you
I
say did
didn't
you
see
say did you
anyone.
say afternoon to anyone like
I
that?
saw people.
Mm.
I went
Avoided
in
them.
and I think I might have said hello to one person, but yeah, didn't see anyone I know.
No,
We don't
I
actually
mean,
go up to random strangers in the street and kind of
really?
not
I
in an
do.
urban area. What do you say hello to everyone you walk past?
I do, yeah.
Yeah,
I do. And then they go, "Well, you lost,"
yeah.
and I go, "Yeah." And they go, and then they look at the bracelet I've got.
Mentally and physically, yeah, I'm very lost.
No, sorry, you can go, whistling, walking along. Um,
Oi,
afternoon.
lovely
After
lady.
nicer. Oh, nicer weather's picking up in it. Hey,
Dress snappily, gent. Yeah,
I'm your long-haired lover from Liverpool. Like that. Singing bit of the Osmonds.
nice.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Um,
Loudly narrating your own journey along the pavement
exactly. Oh,
for
narrating.
the benefit of the
So I wanted to so there's a couple of
passerby.
things which now has just come into my head. So first of all, do you remember the turn of the millennium megastar rapper Nelly?
I do. He was the one who had a bandage under his left, above his left, no, below his left eye. Was that
A
right?
plaster. You see, and do you know what?
Oh, right.
This
Okay.
is what I wanted to bring up, right?
Yeah.
Because I have it on good authority that the reason he had that is because he had a terribly badly infected
A pink eye, clearly.
tear
Yeah.
duct, right?
Yeah.
And do you know what? Everyone was laughing at him, having a go, thinking he's doing it for fashion. And all I want to say is, how about people get off people's back and have a bit of kindness?
Yeah.
Hmm? You don't know what's going on with Nelly. He's lost that eye
All
now.
I'm saying is, if Nelly gets on the bus, you've got to give up that seat.
He had to replace it with a wooden one
Yeah.
for some reason.
That's giving him extra powers, isn't it? Because it's a haunted piece of wood.
Also, Neil, as you know, to distract myself from the real world, I've started a new game on Skyrim,
Have
the
you?
the hit computer
Didn't they
game.
just bring out like the sequel? Was the one
No,
before Oblivion? They've done a
yeah,
remaster of that, something like that. But with
probably.
Skyrim, well, I don't know.
So I
Yeah.
decided to play because I've never completed it, and so I
I
thought,
never
you know,
did. I did do Oblivion. I finished Oblivion.
yeah.
That took long
I've,
enough.
so I'm doing
Yeah,
uh,
Skyrim. I think I've only got about halfway through.
I'm doing
It's too much.
I'm doing a very specific build because you can kind
Okay.
of if you can enhance the experience by making choices at the start of what kind of character you're going to be, rather than when I first played it, I literally went like I was about halfway through like you, and I was like a werewolf, mage,
Vampire
juggernaut,
and yeah,
vampire,
wizard,
zombie.
head of Mages College and Fighters Guild and Assassins
Yeah,
Guild and whatever
yeah.
the fuck.
So
Yeah.
this time I've decided I'm not doing that, but I've just because I want to see if you can do it. I'm not going to have any magic or anything. I'm also not going to be very good at fighting. I'm basically just doing it as a normal bloke called Terry, and and
Wants to get on, just want to go about his business.
he just wants to go about his just wants to go about his business. His main weapon's just a knife.
No, I'm not going into that dungeon.
What
Why would I
you-
do that?
yeah,
It's dark down
I
there.
was
I haven't
born
got like
yesterday.
doesn't look safe.
Well, one thing I'll say
Get a mage down there. That's what you want to do.
one thing I'll say about Terry is he doesn't mind grave robbing. So
Fair enough. Well, I on the way chance.
can't take it with you. That's Terry. That's Terry's
He won't be
attitude.
needing that.
You won't be needing that. Life for the living.
Exactly.
And when I'm dead, someone else will have it.
Indeed.
Gold lasts
Easy
longer
come,
than man.
easy go.
Exactly. We've got to recycle it. He's
Yeah.
sitting there doing nothing. So he does that, and mainly for energy, he eats shiny red apples.
He's a little bit of a rascal, but
He is. What I'm doing is I'm I'm building up his chat. I'm trying to get him really high so he can
oh
talk
right, so
his
he
way
just took
out
his
of
way
any
out of it.
situation.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've just been accepted into the Bard's College.
Nice.
It's where presumably he'll like just do Chaz and Dave and stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm really enjoying it. I've really enjoyed that, and it's really taken my mind off things. So computer games, they're not always bad, are they?
No, nothing wrong with a bit of escapism.
Huh. It's not all the 90s computer game shock game Postal, is it? Do you remember that?
I never played it. I've heard of it.
No, heard of it, yeah.
90s or aughties, but yeah, we were around that time. Yeah, it was the one. Well, there's
You
always
play
been.
a postman going around shooting people,
Yeah, yeah,
and
you're
it was
going literally just
relatively
going
quick.
postal, isn't it?
And it was soon after the bloke had gone postal, and people
Yeah,
going, "Oh my God,
there's
these
always.
the devil," or whatever.
Well, no, I know, and there's always been ones like that because I remember they did one that was about like you play the firm of football hooligans and things like this. And
Hmm.
every so often, some of these things come out where it's trying to be like really edgy. They just there was one as well called I can't remember Soldier Fortune or something where you could just like blow
Oh, that
people's
was
heads off.
fine. I played Soldier Fortune.
Yeah,
That was on
it was
PlayStation,
controversial at the time though because
was it?
supposedly the graphics were so realistic that you could blow off people's heads and stuff. Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Well, no, no, I'm thinking of Mercenaries.
Was you watching? Oh yeah, no, this was one where it was so you could literally like
Whereas now you can literally just do that on like Stardew Valley or whatever.
yeah,
It doesn't matter.
Animal Crossing.
Yeah. Beep, beep,
Yeah, a
beep, beep.
taste of that Tom Nook.
Yeah. How many turnips do you want today? All of them. Just do some- But to get there, you have to learn ironwork, forge
Yeah.
master. You have to learn.
You
You have to
you
find.
can be a serial killer, but it takes a lot of work.
It does take a lot of work, but like being a serial killer,
Yeah, exactly.
because it's
Underrated.
exhausting.
It's hard. Yeah.
You say
Everyone's quick to slag them off, but think about their work
they're
ethos.
hard. They've got good
Yeah.
work ethic.
They're grafters.
Grafters.
Say what you like about their ethos, but they're
If
grafters.
only we could have, if there was some way to
We
kind
could,
of
channel it
funnel that
something
focus
productive. Yeah.
into something productive, like, I don't know, jazz xylophone or cancer research.
Yeah.
The big two.
We just need a good mentor or line manager or something.
Yeah, that's it.
Right.
Just
So kill someone again. I'm taking it seriously this time.
come on, look, you can't keep. Because look,
No, we're gonna
I'm
have
not
you're going on performance development.
because and look, and the thing you're not thinking about the amount of extra work it's giving me having to constantly interview new people.
What was the target for this year? How many corpses? None. Yeah.
Yeah,
How many have we got?
I've got a few.
Yeah.
Got a few, I suppose.
It's not none, is it?
Look. When you said none, like I thought you meant just like less, but like not actually none.
I think we were
That's
quite
really
clear.
hard, you know. I didn't know. I'll be. I didn't. I wasn't really listening.
Wasn't even a full moon, was it?
I know. It's always like a full moon for the devil in my heart. Do you get me? The London Ute there, non-specified, because nicely they all use the same slang.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous. So Neil, after last week's debacle of 70s
Calais, yeah.
sex comedy,
Yeah.
non-haunted house,
Non-haunted romp, but yeah.
non-haunted romp, starring Helen Mirren.
Well, we believed it was the world's most. Well, I was missold this house. It was the world's most haunted manor.
It's actually the world's most horny manor.
Yeah.
Hey.
So listen back to that. You want to know what happened? But yeah, basically the wife
yeah.
was having it with a lodger.
Whose name was Dick Peerless.
Dick Peerless. Peerless.
So this week we're going to look at something different to that, because that is.
You've got another bit of
creepy
creepypasta for us.
Got a bit of creepypasta this week now, because
Nice.
you hate them, I don't mind them.
I just hated all the ones so far. I'm sure there's lots of good ones.
You liked Smile Dog.
Smile Dog was all right. Some are better than others.
You like the Rake.
I liked what was the one with Skinadverse? That was all right.
Skinadverse.
Game was it or something? Kind of creepypasta, isn't it?
Yeah, was it Elevator? No, it wasn't Elevator Game.
I thought it was. Where
it was in an elevator, but it was Elevator Game. I was thinking
there's two elevator ones, isn't there? There's one where the woman comes and kills you, and there's another one where you get up to the seventh floor. The one where you go into another universe or something?
What about the one where the guy gets out and then sprints up the stairs and he goes, "Hee, I'm a murderer," and then runs up the stairs, so he's going to catch you at the next stop?
Oh, I can't remember. Because I thought it was a lady who gets on, and then if you talk to her, like if you're able to completely, I can't remember. There were too many of these things.
There were a few elevator based ones. But this week we are going to look, if when I can find it, at a creepypasta about a haunted amusement park.
It's called Funland, is it? You
It's
know it's
called
going to be good.
it's
Hence
called
my
Funland.
my background.
Your background, yes.
This was what I got when I googled
Do you know what?
Funland.
Like this is
So it's looking quite 80s, I would say,
this
possibly
is a
70s.
I work previous to last job that I worked. There was a project manager, I think, called Ian Putland.
Oh, okay.
Putland, and I used to basically sort of make the joke to like the people who I got on with there. That his name was actually Ian's Putland, and it was like you'll never leave. Welcome to Ian's Putland. So I'm hoping that this is going to be like Ian's Putland was in my mind, and it only has
Yeah.
13 holes, etc. Right, let's have a look.
When you like finish a project, do you do things like that hole in one?
I think he was fairly oblivious that his nickname sounded his nickname,
His real name, his
his
surname, yeah.
surname, yeah, his government name
Yeah.
sounded a
Pigeon
like
putt, yeah.
a crazy golf, yeah,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
whatever.
Or whatever, yeah.
I like that your one's got modern pinball and video games in the background.
Yeah. All the mod cons.
How do you reckon how do you reckon you do in a batting cage? You know they have them in America for baseball. In
If I got my eye in, I think I could do all right.
do you think you could get your iron?
Well, I'm not sure because it's quite.
It's
I have.
fast, isn't it?
I've played a bit of basketball. Oh, or we did a bit of it when I
Baseball.
was baseball. Sorry, yeah,
Hmm.
I've done a bit of both actually. When yeah, no, just when I was at school because yeah, it's really tricky. It's trying to like connect with the you
Got
know
the sweet spot on the bat.
yeah yeah. Well, I suppose having
I'm very
said
much
that,
just swing hard, ball goes up and hits back goes up and behind.
yeah. I mean, I think I find if you can make that connection, then you
Mm.
normally get a fairly good But it's it's probably more. Well, I
I
suppose
think
it's
I'd be
about the power and
embarrassed.
the connection.
I think
I'd probably embarrass myself.
I
Let's be
think
honest, but
if I went to the States, obviously off the cards currently, but if I did, then and someone went, "Hey, do you want to go and play stickball down at the cages?" And I went, "Yeah, all right." I think I'd be humiliated.
fair enough. Yeah, it's probably. I'm because I'm thinking remembering back to having played
I'm
it at school, but actually then that's somebody like pitching you who
yeah.
doesn't know what they're doing.
It's
So if
it's
it's
also another school child, isn't it?
exactly, so yeah,
Rather
and
than a
even then I
machine
remember it
firing
being
them at
quite
81
difficult
an
because yeah,
hour.
baseball bats they're very thin, aren't they? So it's
Yeah.
yeah,
So hopefully now you've actually thought about it a bit more, then you won't be so overconfident
yeah,
with playing
take it
baseball in
more
future.
seriously. I mean,
Hmm.
it's something that's going to be very important in my life. Seeing as I literally played it twice.
Why have you got so many
Yes,
baseball bats by your front door?
never you mind.
All right. So
Never know when Babe Ruth might be coming round.
I'm just going to
So
leave it.
up phrase. Well, I don't know what would be a. I've no idea. A Rod, he's one, isn't he? A famous baseball player.
I thought those are the people who did the drains,
Yeah,
but there we go.
sticks one
So
out, doesn't it? Anyway,
Funland,
don't really know.
Funland Forever. Oh no, this is a spin-off. This one. So where's the
Wayne
original
Gretzky,
Funland?
is he hockey or is he baseball?
Wayne Gretzky's a hockey
He's a
player. Yeah,
hockey player, really. I think he might even be Canadian.
he is, and weirdly Trumpian. He's one who went with
I was
that. Oh
not.
no, we've mentioned the name of
Right, well,
a
that's all right.
politician. That's us off
That's the
YouTube again.
algorithm fucked us over. Oh, and I did
So
a swear as well.
you did. And you said serial killer, which is also us out.
Yeah.
So basically,
We're referring to the Talking Head song.
we were.
Let's just say.
My a family friend of ours who passed away about a year ago had that Psycho Killer by Talking Heads as the outro music as the coffin went.
Nice.
So I'm going to read this creepypasta
Go for
to
it.
you on this podcast.
I'm just going to have a little nap in the corner here, Chris.
Yeah, you were
Wake me
yawning
up
a lot
for the
before this
interesting
started,
bits.
so I am a bit concerned, to be honest.
I'm sure
So,
it'll be very entertaining.
well, there's a couple of them, so I'm gonna do one and then the other
See
one.
where we go. Yeah. Okay.
So, Neil, I grew up in a small town in Massachusetts during the 90s.
Me, did you grew up in Croydon?
Yeah. All right. This is what I tell the dames.
Oh right, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I go, yes, I'm from Massachusetts. Hello. Yeah. You know Fraser Crane? He was based on me. That's what I say. You
Nice.
know, I'm in the Dropkick Murphys. That's it.
Yeah.
Um, it was a great time and place to be a kid. On Main Street was chock full of kid-friendly activities. There was an enormous outside go-kart track with a huge arcade full of the best games from the 80s and 90s. Sounds
Yee.
good. Sounds very good. I remember spending hours playing the alligator version of Whack-A-Mole.
Hey.
Then, just down the street was Toontown.
Mm,
Um, it wasn't anything special, just a typical 90s music store. But they had a cute little dog with a bandana who was in all of their TV commercials.
nice.
Though I've long forgotten the little guy's name, he was really cute. Whenever I go in to buy a new cassette tape, he'd be there to greet me at the door.
Rigsby. It
Hmm?
was named after the character from Rising Damp.
Was he?
Yeah.
The dog. Okay, cool. It wasn't Eddie, seeing as Massachusetts.
No, that was the dog in Frasier.
Yeah, but that's where Fraser's from
I know what you're
Massachusetts.
referring to. Yeah, yeah.
Lovely. Out of all the places I went to as a kid, Funland was by far the greatest. It had its own go-kart track, a small one for little kids and a larger one for bigger kids. It wasn't as big or fancy as the one down the street, but it was still fun.
How many of these are there, please? So it's quite a
Um,
big town then if they've got multiple
I,
Funlands.
don't- I mean, I've never been to the States, so I don't know. It could well be that very much like in our villages, you have to have a post office and a pub to be kind of considered not a hamlet, a village. It could well
Okay.
be that
You
in
think you need to have
America
multiple Funlands?
you have to have multiple go-kart tracks. Could be. They like cars, don't they? They like cars more than us, so could be that. So it had its own go-kart. Oh yeah, blah blah blah, blah 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 blah. There were batting cages too, lots of them. It even had a small arcade, mostly filled with pinball machines, Pac-Man, and the always popular Simpsons arcade game. But the best thing about Funland was the mini golf course. It was the only one in the area at the time, and in the eyes of a 10-year-old kid, the place was huge.
Ooh,
The iconic spaceship with the Funland logo sat in the center of the park. You could see it from the street along with the giant giraffe statue, which stared out into the parking lot, smiling down upon you as you enter.
nice.
There were other memorable statues too, including a pink elephant. It wasn't a statue, mate, that's alcoholism.
I was going to say.
And a large dollhouse that sat in the back corner. Uh-oh.
Mm.
But the greatest part of the entire park was the 18th hole. Somewhere, my parents thought it was the 19th hole. On the look, we're trying. We're trying.
Very fucking trying.
So, now with the swearing.
Oh, yeah.
No, it's
That's
all
true.
right.
Yeah.
It's fine. Like, I don't give a fuck. On the outside, it just looked like an ordinary outhouse. If you got a hole in one, not only did you get a free game, but the outhouse door would swing open and you could hear the sound of a toilet flushing,
Hey.
along with the hiss of the hydraulics that moved the animatronic inside. It was a funny looking humanoid dog wearing overalls.
Hey. You don't really
It's
see a lot of animatronics these days, do you?
no, I imagine high maintenance costs
Yeah, probably not
for
worth the
very
investment.
little return for
Yeah.
people. Oh,
In
yeah,
many ways, we've regressed as a society, haven't we?
in every way, almost.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, 100%. Like now,
Yeah.
you're lucky if the wall in a kid's sort of amusement park isn't covered sort of in dried blood and stuff. You
You
know
know,
what I mean?
when in the Matrix they picked like the late 90s as the peak of civilization.
They were
Well, little
probably
did we
right,
know.
weren't
Yeah.
they?
Little did we know.
This sounds also like I'm wondering if this creepypasta is like
Not very
the
creepy so far, is it? It's more.
no, it's world building
I'm
currently.
assuming it's good. Yeah, I mean,
No, it's actually.
some Cthulhu's going to make an
Do you
appearance.
know?
At some
Do you know
point.
what's happened? I'm actually just reading a review of an actual theme park.
Oh,
Scores on the board now.
yeah. So 10 all round. Yeah.
Um, I'm wondering if this creepypasta could be the Where they got the idea for the computer game Five Nights at Freddy's.
Freddy's. I was going to say actually, yeah,
Because
because
it's sounding a bit like it.
do you think it's going to end up with murdering animatronic dolls?
I don't know, but I know that
Yeah,
people who design computer games read a lot of internet. So, he was wearing. So the humanoid-looking dog was wearing overalls. So that's
yeah,
good. He's
yeah. He's a little character. That's
got himself
good.
a bit of work.
Yeah.
Good.
Weirdly, they will
With
look like bloodstains on the
with
dolls.
one strap hanging down off his shoulders if he just pulled them up. That's quite sexy, isn't it?
I mean,
Like the dungaree down, and
don't want to yuck your yum, Chris.
yeah, like if he was really muscly
You've always had a bit of a
underneath.
thing for Goofy, haven't you?
Thing's a big word now.
Yeah. Okay.
A possession,
Yeah.
maybe. Um, dream about him every night. If
Yeah.
that's weird, is that weird to you?
A little
Got to
bit.
dream about something, Neil. Might as well be
Might as well
something
be that. Yeah.
like you like very much indeed.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Oh, I'd love to go to Disney World. I'm not allowed to.
No. No. If the algo hadn't sorted us out, it certainly has now.
Just can't help ourselves.
Yeah.
You're trapped in here with us. His eyes would
Have
blink.
you ever, what do you
Oh,
think, lads? Just go have an open-minded listen back to what you said. Just have a little think about it. Yeah?
his eyes would blink and his jaw would move seductively. And his arm would raise as he pointed at
I'm
you,
really worried about where this is going.
scolding him for disturbing him. Hey, what do you think you're doing? Get out of here! He'd shout. In a goofy attempt at a southern accent. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Rewind. Hey, what do you think you're doing? Get out of here. That's a very good southern accent.
Yeah. It was.
Then the door would close, and you and your friends would have a good laugh before you left. Every time I went there, I couldn't wait to see that dog. And I know what I'm with this
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah.
I'm very much with him. I
Yeah.
didn't. Oh, I love podcasting. Like all the things in childhood, the fun of Main Street slowly faded away. I think the go-kart and the arcade were the first to go, sitting abandoned for years before being turned into a daycare center. They
Kids
still
need
kept,
raising. They should be
huh?
doing kid raising. You need to, put them all in go karts.
The
It's
go-karts
own
rate
It's a daycare centre of sort, isn't it? And they're learning some valuable skills. They could become Formula One drivers.
could become Formula One.
Work for Lewis Hamilton. Yeah.
It did work for Lewis Hamilton.
Rolling in all the bucks.
I understand that he is relatively comfortable now.
I believe so, yeah.
Hmm.
Semi-detached house, probably. Mm?
One of the
Yeah.
made by I reckon it could be a hide home.
Oh,
Ooh. And do you know what I've heard about it as well?
go on.
When he bought it off spec, right? He didn't even see the house. And he said to him, I want top of the line on all of it,
Yeah.
marble the lot. And do you know what? And they did it.
Yeah. You would, wouldn't you?
It's all right. And I've seen him when he comes out of the co-op, he don't give that bloke any change.
That's how the other half live.
That's how they get rich, innit?
Yeah.
They still kept the tract, having only gutted and rebuilt the arcade to serve their needs. So it just sat there in back with one or two remaining go-karts frozen in time.
Mm.
Then Toontown went out of business, unable to keep up with the bigger music chains like Newbury Comics and FYE.
Fair enough.
I
Not familiar with those.
Those
I mean, I would have thought
the
10th
big
century
five.
it's more kind of like, streaming music and piracy.
No, it was the aggressive business practice of Newbury Comics,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
recently bought out by Palantir.
Yeah.
I imagine that cute little dog has to be dead by now.
Okay.
Last to go, of course, was Funland. It was painful to see it start to rot and decay in its last few years of life. The paint on the animals, statues faded, the eyes of the giraffe looking sadly out into the emptying parking lot as less and less visitors came to see him. When the park officially closed, I was heartbroken.
Oh,
By then, by that time, I was in high school, and it had been a long time since I'd visited the park. I used to drive on my way to work, watching it slowly deteriorating away. The elephant eventually tipped over onto its side. The chain around its huge stump of a foot that had been keeping it latched to the ground was now visible and exposed. The doors and windows of the dollhouse were broken and shattered as if it was a real abandoned house.
mm,
Tiny, tiny crackheads moving in.
yeah. Huffing paint on the porch.
The outhouse door remained closed, the wood cracking with age. I could only imagine what that poor animatronic dog inside looked like. Couldn't bring himself to look though, could he? Because it'd be too
No,
difficult.
no.
Don't ruin the perfect memory.
Got to gaze into that abyss.
Eventually, nature reclaimed the once thriving park, and I could no longer see into it. All that remained visible was a headed giraffe peeking over the rusted fence. Curiosity got the best of me. Uh-oh.
Oh, he's going to break in.
So I gathered my two friends, Kevin and Zach, one night, and we decided to break
Dude,
in.
let's break into the amusement park.
No way, Zach.
I heard it's totally haunted.
No, I can't.
Zach went in there
My
and
mom will totally
thing
ground me.
exploded.
My mom won't let me go to the autumn dance. And I want to see Missy Jean because she's my best gal.
Yeah.
And one day I'm gonna marry her. All of the accents.
I don't know what the hell is.
They won't. Whatever.
Well, yeah.
YouTube want to censor us? I'll censor myself. As we walked up to the surrounding gate, I looked up to a giraffe. It was the first time I noticed how creepy it looks.
Oh,
Its yellow coat of
it's almost like
paint
it was moving closer towards me. Yeah.
rubbing its chin.
Yeah.
It was the first time I know its yellow coat of paint had almost completely faded, leaving only its brown spots and huge almond-shaped black eyes.
Was that ichor dripping from its flanks?
Crying
Some weird
blood.
tentacles. Some
I
uncanny
hadn't noticed that.
music.
I hadn't noticed that giraffe had a head of a squid.
Yeah.
Continuing on, we snuck in the back of the park near the batting cages. Zach brought a pair of garden shears to cut the fence open, just enough for us to squeeze through.
Nice.
As I entered the park for the first time in what must have been over a decade, I looked around in complete awe. When was the last time you looked around in complete awe, Neil? Is it down a laundrette today?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. Big old machines, aren't they?
They are big industrial beasts.
Did you ever want to get in one?
Can't say I did. No, I don't think it'd be a very
No.
comfortable ride.
If you wrap yourself up in towels.
Possibly.
I'm not saying I've thought about it. I'm just,
Yeah.
I'm very improvisational.
Fair enough.
Everything was just how I remembered it. The go-karts were still on the tracks, the batting cages still had balls in them, but the arcade was all boarded up. The mini golf course was covered with trees and was damp with overflow from the nearby swamp.
So it wasn't exactly how you remembered it, is it? Surely. Anyway,
I sighed.
things are still in the same places, I guess. Is what it's saying.
I sighed, saddened by the sight of what was once happy and magical place of my childhood. The feelings the old abandoned park gave off that night sent a shiver down my spine. I do not mind
Ooh.
telling you. I never really noticed how creepy it was until then. We went through the course in order, starting at the first hole.
Oh, so he actually played golf.
That seems, yeah.
Or maybe they just followed it around.
There was nothing special, Neil, just the usual challenging mounds of fake grass.
Ooh.
Now moist with rain. The swamp hadn't reached that far yet.
Yeah.
As we continued, we walked past the pink elephant, now a ghostly shade of white.
Ooh.
He lay on his side, eyes staring vacantly out into the park as if he'd just expired. I ran my fingers over his massive head before moving on. The dollhouse was what was next. It was the next memorable thing we came across. It looked like a miniature haunted house.
Mm.
I half expected the broken doors and windows to be boarded up like the arcade was, but you could still see inside. The little pieces of furniture all toppled over and spilt out, and people were squatting in it. Oh no. This part of the park was where the swamp had touched.
Ah, okay.
The smell wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. The town was covered with swamps as it is. Is Massachusetts a heavily swamped area? I kind of think of swamps as more below the Mason-Dixie.
I have no idea, to be honest with you. I also don't. It's weird that swamp like has everyone just abandoned this place and it's kind
Yeah,
of because
yeah,
this
yeah,
does happen, doesn't it? It's kind of like
yeah. Oh
yeah.
no,
So
it's
it's now like in the middle of
it's
nowhere and it's
incredibly plausible so far.
yeah. Okay, okay.
Yeah, it's been abandoned. They've let the levees break that was
Yeah.
holding back the swamps, I guess. We couldn't reach the entire back section unless we wanted to wade through disgusting water. Our only choice was to head straight for the 18th hole.
Oh,
Finally, the part of the park I wanted to see the most, more than anything, I wanted to see that dog again. We all do.
yeah.
We all do.
So I
See,
assume this is where the thing's going to happen.
it's not just me, Neil. See,
No,
maybe maybe it's you.
maybe it's two of you. Yeah, I'd be willing to side with
Maybe
this person.
maybe I wrote this story,
Yeah, maybe you did.
and maybe this is
Maybe.
a
Yeah.
poorly disguised confession.
Yeah.
Could be, couldn't it?
Could
Did I
be.
know? You don't know me. You don't know what my motivations are. It was half nostalgia and half an excitement, sort of fear of what it would look like.
Mhm.
Was it even still there? Was it in good condition, preserved by the outhouse? Or was it like everything else in the park, sad and neglected after all this time? I couldn't wait to find out. Did you
Dragging
bring
it
it?
on.
Did you bring it? I asked Kevin. He nodded and handed me one of his dad's golf balls. I held it in my hand, sighing deeply as I ran my thumb over the grooves.
Mm.
I had stepped up to the outhouse and peered underneath where I knew the hole would be, when there was a sudden flash of light, temporarily blinding me. What the fuck, Zach? I complained, blinking away the white yellow spots in my eyes. I was just trying to help, he replied moodily. Let's just hurry up and get out of here.
It's getting spooked.
Yeah, added Kevin. This place is giving me the crips. Not until I see him, I snapped,
Oh,
full of lust. I'm sure I must have sounded crazy. I was talking about a dog as if it was a person. I'm so embarrassed. To me, he was more than just some sideshow attraction to be called at. He was part of my childhood and a big part of my future. I did that.
yeah.
It was like I was about to meet an old friend who I
Mm.
hadn't seen in ages. My friends didn't reply. Zach simply kept his flashlight pointed beneath the outhouse, and Kevin sighed in annoyance, tapping his foot impatiently.
Oh,
Tell you what, I don't like this, Kevin.
no, he's a prick, isn't
Seems like it, doesn't he? Do you know? Yeah, Mom. He's like one of them, isn't he?
he? Mind you, they've been out there for a while. This has all turned into the Blair Witch Project.
Look, I told you what we were going to do.
Members
I
of
told you it was
Prey.
going to take some time, right? And you said you wanted to come along, and now you don't, right? So, what's over on,
Yeah.
Kevin, I'm not your mum. If you want to go home, go home. It's too many Kevins in this world. But now we could all see it, the hole, the white tube in the ground that brought the golf balls back into that little hut at the entrance that once contained all the golf balls and clubs. It was barely visible over the mound created by the fake turf, but it was still there and I had a clear shot.
Mm.
I placed the ball on the ground and aiming it carefully, rolled it towards the hole. We could hear the ball enter the pipe. The sound of it swirling down the ground echoing in the silent park. Zach and I stepped back beside Kevin, the light now shining on the outhouse itself. I clenched my fist in anticipation, wishing with all my heart that it would somehow still work, that the door would open and the dog would still be there. It was a stupid wish. We all jumped at the sudden sound of the once familiar flushing noise, now slightly distorted. Then the door began to open, and the loud hiss of the hydraulics resonated through the night. We stood there breathless and silent. It worked. We actually made it work. After all these years, I'd finally get to see him again. I was so happy I could feel the sides of my mouth curl up in a magnificent smile, as if I was a child opening a
Oh,
present.
that smell gonna freeze in a minute.
But the present wasn't what I had been expecting at all.
It's a human skull instead or something.
There he stood, my once familiar friend.
Oh,
My reward for getting my hole in one. But I could hardly recognize him. The fur that covered his metal frame was matted and wet. His overalls hung loose around him, like it would if someone had lost a great deal of weight. My breath caught in my throat, which was now suddenly dry. I swallowed softly, eyes widening as I travelled up to the dog's face. It was a horrible, hideous sight. The fake fur on half his head had torn away, exposing the wires and joint mechanism of his mechanical jaw. I never remembered him having teeth.
very sharp teeth as well.
On the same side, his plastic eye had sprung from its socket and now remained dangling by his torn cheek. Then he blinked. The mechanism on the broken eye shuddered around that exposed wire, releasing small sparks. More sparks flew as his arm shot up with a clang, and the hinge of the jaw creaked and his mouth flopped open, and he spoke. What do you think you're doing? Oh, no, sorry. What do you think you're doing? Funny southern drawl of his voice was completely gone, replaced by something raspy and angry. Although I could hear the chilling distortion in his voice box, he sounded more human than I ever remembered.
Oh.
Kevin ran. He didn't even look back. Zach dropped his phone and slowly backed away, screaming as he stared at the dog's one good open eye, which seemed to turn to him at the disturbance. Then somehow the dog moved forward. He wasn't programmed to walk. As far as I knew, the hydraulics attached to his back only sat him up. He wasn't supposed to walk, but by God, I saw the once funny animatronic dog from my childhood step out of that old withered outhouse towards us. I stood there frozen in fear, staring at it. Fuck this, I heard Zach utter before
Not
he
here.
left.
Scoob.
No way. I didn't sign up for this.
This is bogus.
Zach Meister, bounce.
Later.
Smell you later. Now I was alone with him. I spent so many years thinking about this moment. It is written a bit romantically, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm just thinking old sack salad needs to come in now.
Yeah.
Maybe not Baker Street.
Or Unchained Melody.
Yeah, it's a little bit more saucy. Those kind of 80s.
I spent so many years thinking about this very moment. I spent countless hours thinking about this dog and wanting to see him one last time. But I knew that I should never have stepped back into that old park. My childhood was dead, as broken as the wires and metal rods that barely held this dog together. He seemed to watch Zach go, his good eye turning with a crackling sound as he watched him disappear into the darkness. Then it
just us.
then it turned to me. Get out. His arm still pointing now in the direction of the parking lot where the headlights of Zach's car had just turned on. I didn't move. I could only stare. Was this some kind of sick nightmare? Some bizarre fantasy my brain thought to get my mind off a time that I could no longer return to? The thing stepped closer, its disfigured face near inches from my own. The smell of wet dog seemed to invade my nostrils. Get out of here, it boomed. The voice box short-circuiting as if it exploded before slowly fading out. It sounded like multiple voices had spoken in a deep and aggressive, almost demonic. This time I listened and ran as fast as I could through the park, which was dimly lit by the headlights of the car. My car darted around once familiar area, now seemed foreign and strange. I couldn't tell where I was going. I heard the sound of children laughing and the trumpeting call of an elephant and the clanging of grinding of metal gears. They've all awoken.
They've all come alive. Yeah.
All awoken. When I finally why? They weren't animatronic.
No. Doesn't matter.
It can't. I mean, what do you think? The haunted swamp?
Poltergeists.
Could be polka dots, couldn't it?
Yeah.
When I finally reached the fence, I tried sliding through the hole we came through, but I got stuck on something. I looked down to see if my jacket was caught, but it wasn't. Then I looked back, staring right into. Then I looked back, staring right into my eyes was one plastic eyeball with a painted on black pupil. My eyes widened, staring back into that black spot as if it was a hole, ready to swallow me alive. Then I discovered the reason I was stuck. The hand the animatronic dog was gripping the back of my shirt. I know that hand was supposed to be stuck in a pointing position. It didn't have any mechanical functions to actually open and close. But then again, the dog wasn't supposed to be walking. You shouldn't have come back, I heard it whisper, sending a chill up my spine. Then it released me with a shove, and I fell through the opening in the fence, scrambling to my feet. I ran to Zach's car, not once looking back as he sped down Main Street. It's been 5 years since that night. I don't talk to Kevin as that much anymore. We've never once spoken of the incident. That's always one of these things, isn't it, now? That they
Mm.
say that this event means that the friends no longer speak.
Yes, because they don't want to
Never
acknowledge
speak of
what.
it. Never
It's a very
speak of it.
Stephen King kind of story, isn't it?
Well, it's Massachusetts as well, isn't it?
Well, there you go. We sure this
Um,
isn't Derry or whatever he called that, a fictional town where all the evil stuff happens.
yeah. I never drove down that stretch of Main Street either until today. It was late and the road I usually take had a detour, which led me right to it. What harm would driving by do? Neil, I should have known better.
Mm.
I tried not to look. I really did, but I couldn't help sneaking a peek. I couldn't see much through all the rain, but I noticed a large for lease sign now hung on the fence. Oh, I wonder if they know what they're getting
How could
into.
leasing be doing?
Hmm?
I just think he's going to end up leasing this plot or something daft like that.
Really, do you think?
No, I don't know.
Starting a family with the dog.
Yeah,
I think the dog's just furious.
just embittered.
Yeah, because
Thought we were friends.
just
You just left me to
we're
this.
friends.
Rot. Yeah.
You can't keep walking in and out of my life and out of my life and out of my life. That's what he's saying.
Yeah.
Him and On Vogue.
Yeah.
So four lease on the fence. The giraffe was gone, or perhaps it had fallen over and was hidden under the thick brush. With a sigh, I continued on, trying to push the memories of the night out of my mind. My windshield began to fog from the indecisive New England weather, so I put my defroster on. Then I noticed something. Instead of clearing from the bottom up like it normally would, my windshield began to clear in patterns.
Oh,
It had formed
is that a
words.
message? Oh,
I stared at
Dr.
them.
Khan,
Yeah, what do you reckon it's going to be?
fancy a coffee?
Hmm, very nice.
Another go around the 18th.
Very European. Hoping with all hope that it was just a fluke or a fragment of my
Knee
imagination.
Trembler by the open house.
Fearless. But the message was clear, Neil.
What was it?
Don't come back
Oh,
empty-handed.
and he never did.
Don't come back empty-handed. Don't come back without the ingredients of a chemsex party. When the police asked what caused me to crash into the pole outside the abandoned, all I could do was wrap the blanket they gave me tightly around myself as I stared back towards the bushes and
No,
trees.
officers, the dog made me bring the anal night tray. That wasn't high at all.
I'm not hotboxing ammo nitrate in my car in the
That's
rain
the-
in the car park of an amusement park. Of
Yeah,
an
I'm sorry,
abandoned
dog made
child's
me.
amusement park.
Don't get me started on that giraffe and that elephant. Well,
I don't even know what solvent abuse is, officers. Um, I stared back at the bush and the trees that was concealing the location of the 18th hole. Dog was all I could tell them. It was that dog. Hmm. So
well,
that's
that's
that's your Funland.
not so fun in the end, was it?
Depends if you like solvent abuse.
Well, I'll tell you another good thing, Chris.
Yeah.
Where I don't know how many creepy pastas we've done now, but that's zero that have pleased me. So
Yeah, I don't
that was a
believe
fun
you.
little story. That was a ish.
It's all right.
I
I
thought it was
thought,
gonna. I thought it was gonna do more. I thought it was at least
yeah, I
gonna
thought it was
kill
going to
one
be
of his
better than
mates.
just like, yeah, like than
Yeah,
a sort of angry robot dog.
yeah.
Thought and sort of potential. I
I don't
thought,
know why
yeah,
we're so attached to it either.
it's so it's slightly less scary than an episode of Scooby Do
Yeah,
so far. So
I
I'd
think we
say
agree on
that,
that,
yeah,
and slightly less logical as well.
less logical, less sandwiches.
Because if you'd pulled the if Velma was there, she would have pulled the dog's mask off, and it would have been his uncle Peter, wouldn't it?
Uncle Peter,
Yeah.
woof back, donkey,
Don't you? You come
donkey,
around back.
stop frightening me. I want to be erotic. I want to be in Tatler. I tell you that, and more than that, I want a cup of tea. There's one. There's a deep cut for the
Yeah,
kind of
whatever
reason
happened to
Mortimer
Uncle Peter?
crowds, huh?
Whatever happened to Uncle Peter?
I think he still does.
Is he still
If
doing some sort of
he was
act?
doing
Yeah.
stand up and stuff like well afterwards.
Yeah,
So
no, because the first time I ever saw him was on the James Whale show. He's just playing drums, and it just ended
mm,
up with him in like a 2 before, just kicking the shit out of the kit, and it was
yeah, Uncle
it's
Peter's
just like the
band.
weirdest thing I've ever seen in my life.
He's one of those sort of weird alternative comics who kind of got on TV a couple of times.
Yeah, yeah,
The sort that you could absolutely know that would get nowhere now.
yeah. No, no chance.
No chance. So, do you know what? You seem like you're a tired boy today, Neil. So I'm just going to say, let's score it, and then we'll give people some time back so they can go and have a cup of tea before their next meeting.
Fair enough. Yeah, because
Yeah,
they're probably listening to this in the office, aren't they? So
I mean, I would hope so. If
yeah,
they, if the people in charge of whatever their organisation has have any idea about continuous improvement, they should
yeah.
be playing our podcast every
So
week
you're going to
over the
yeah
speakers.
improve morale.
Going to improve morale, going to improve productivity. Now,
Yes,
tell you what, you're not going to improve: lack of staff retention because you'll retain them by doing it.
interestingly phrased. Yeah.
So, Neil, spookiness
Speaking
on
of
this terrible,
how
most terrible of all stories.
how random of an animatronic dog, not really. It's because that was always the thing is when you've got one of these things where it keeps leading on and leading on and leading on, and it's like,
There's no payoff.
yeah,
There
there's
wasn't
no,
the payoff.
really no payoff.
The story,
Um,
the build of the story, the world building was too long for the
for the
payoff,
payoff, yeah,
and the payoff wasn't
and
that.
the payoff didn't pay off. Because yeah, like you, I thought it might end up something like Five Nights at Freddy's or something, or so like one of the
Yeah,
friends was going to get killed or something, or
I mean,
or
at
try and kill
least,
them or something,
yeah, or demon or
or attack
something.
them, or it was yeah, or it was
Mount
possessed.
portal to hell.
Yeah,
Do
a
you know what I mean?
little bit of Cthulhu too much to ask.
Ugh, the Eldritch gods, come on.
Yeah,
They're on.
you've all
You're,
not met because
you're
Zeke
leaving them on
literally went insane.
you're leaving them on the table.
Yeah.
All the good stuff. Um, well, come on then.
Two out of 10 for me.
Two.
Yeah, it's just not very. It's just. I'm sorry, an animatronic dog is just not. It's absurd. It's not creepy.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never played Five Nights at Freddy's or seen the movie, so that doesn't really seem scary to me either. I don't
No,
know.
it's not.
I suspect it's all fucking jump cuts.
It is jump. It's
Yeah.
literally just jump scares.
Which, yes, it'll like you jump because that's a psychological reaction, or that's a reaction. But
In the same way that people,
scary.
the same way that when you're in school, people come up and do that in your on the
Yeah,
side of your flanks because that would make you
yeah,
jump.
yeah.
Basically
Jump.
that.
Well, yeah, of course you would.
Yeah, of course you did.
Or the
Of course you just physically assaulted me.
Brighten down the level version where I had shitty kids sort of throwing fireworks at you and you're not expecting it. Oh, made jump. Well, yeah, because you literally threw a firework at the face.
Yeah.
I'll probably not get into an altercation with a 13-year-old down the level because it probably won't look good, but quite tempted.
I don't know. Maybe.
Hence the baseball bats, Chris.
Okay, well, it's all added up. So look, it's not. It's a. Do you know what? Like, it's a spooky premise, but
Yeah.
like you could do something really nicely with an old abandoned theme park, couldn't you? That's why Scooby Doo did it so much.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm gonna go three just because.
They did build up, I suppose, but it just
Well,
didn't.
so no, I mean, like, just because there's some, like in your imagination, you could imagine it being quite spooky going
Something.
around
Yeah, yeah,
that.
yeah. Fair
But
enough.
yeah, so I'm just going to give it the three. Believability. So it's gonna be quite low.
Yeah.
I do believe that there are abandoned children's play areas. I do believe that. I do believe it. And I believe that there is animatronic dogs.
Or whatever, not around. Yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
not. Maybe not this sexy. Maybe that's been embellished a bit. Right?
Well,
Fair enough.
yeah.
You got sex sells. We
Well,
know
yeah.
that. That's why
Takes it
we
forward,
started.
doesn't it?
That's why we started videoing.
Yeah, yeah. What are you gonna do? Keep locking
Uh,
that away in the drawer. Keep that rotting away on the shelf.
um, so I believe all that. Do I believe? I don't believe any creepypastas because it's just some lad on the internet writing or ladette
Yeah.
writing.
Yeah, it's a lad. Yeah.
So yeah,
Let's be honest. 99% certainty.
yeah,
You know.
yeah, and yeah, almost, yeah. I was going to say something there, but
Sorry, man.
but there's some bits that I just want to really limit the amount of editing I have to do, so I am self-censoring. So I'm giving it a three for believability now.
Fair enough. Um, I'm going to go a bit higher on this one because it's so fucking mundane. It actually makes it more believable. So I'm
Do
going
you
to
know
give
what,
it.
Neil? Do you know what? Like, sorry, mate, give you score.
No, go.
Sorry,
I'm going to give it a 6 because actually
six. Okay.
none of it is completely out. Like, do I believe this happened? No, absolutely, I don't. Could it have happened? Yeah, it's not that, other that
Yeah,
very little bit at the end, like pretty much all of it. And even then, it could be like you got yourself into, like, if you got yourself into an extent, and let's say you'd all been smoking a bit of weed, got a bit paranoid or whatever, because I suspect there might have been some bits that they'd sort of elided around here. You could, you might have even kind of hallucinated something at the end, or, had a, like a, you might have believed that something like that happened. So, yeah, I don't
also,
think
the
it's,
amount of amyl nitrate they were taking in, like that,
yeah, and all the acids and,
get the bells and stuff in there.
yeah, all the
Yeah.
crack cocaine that they've been smoking.
Do you know what? Now I'm gonna make a proposition to you now, and you can go with it or not.
Fair enough.
I'm I think right as not a normal episode,
Yeah,
but as an episode, a bonus episode, right? Maybe
yeah,
because we kept people waiting for so long.
yeah.
I reckon me and you write a creepy pasta for Ian's Putland, and we'll see if it's and then we'll read it and we'll read the story
Put
out.
money where our mouth is. I like it.
Yeah. Would you
We'll
reckon?
inevitably, yeah, because it's all well and good for us to criticise. Well,
Exactly. Yeah, it's about
step
time.
up and have a go yourself,
A
son.
lot of people have been saying that about us
Yeah,
on
no, fair
on
enough.
the
And they'd
chats,
be right
and
to do so.
they've been saying all that. They've been on X and True
Tell you
Social,
what,
been
I'm
saying all
about
kinds of
to.
stuff.
The
Right, there
Piper's
we
come
go.
calling, and we're going to get cash in
Yeah.
time. We're going to come found wanted, aren't we? Yeah,
So let's do it. Let's write
yeah.
our own story.
Criminals. Does it have to be about Putland? Do
It has to, yeah, because it has to be a one-to-one comparison.
you know what I'm going to do too?
Oh, here we go.
I'm going to take you
You're
going.
going to do a
I'm
whole.
going to raise. I'm going to take and
Okay,
raise. You
I'm
don't have.
listening. Do you know what? I'm listening. I'm listening, boy.
We'll do a Putland one. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and
Ian's
then
Putland.
got to write a good effective bit of creepy pasta as well.
Ian's Putland's going to be effective.
I'm gonna see if I can do a couple.
Okay. Okay. Nice. We'll count how many words are in that, and that would be our aim.
Yeah.
Because that's how writing works. You're
Oh, I'm just
giving
gonna
us,
like say it
you're
into my
giving us,
phone and then it can type it up for me. And on
oh,
a night like this, when
nice.
instead of
Okay.
typing it out,
I was thinking typing
yeah.
like a mug.
I don't know. I'll just be honest. I'm just gonna get an AI to write it for me.
So, this might well have been. So, narrative premise now.
Narrative premise.
Yeah, it's your turn. Yeah, sorry.
Um, I, mm, there's definitely that you could do more with this. I mean, like the five. I quite like, yeah, going back. So going back to his childhood, that's quite good. There is definitely like a whiff of Stephen King about this.
Yeah.
Like he would have made it more effective.
Well,
Um,
hence the terrible ending.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, an incredibly frustrating ending. Uh, the only thing it didn't have is Stephen King turning up. Yeah,
And we're all clowns.
I quite like some Stephen King stuff. To be fair, he's been very successful for a very long time.
Lots
For
of
a
people
reason.
like him.
Yeah. And he seems like a good egg generally as well. To be fair.
Oh, and now he's off
Read
the
socials.
gag.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen the
Probably a bit of a nightmare in the 80s, to be
Have
fair.
you ever seen that? Because he turned his hand to directing when he was back in the on
Yes,
the
I've
80s.
only seen the scene. I've seen a couple of clips. I've
Have
not
you
seen
seen?
the movie. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. No, I haven't seen the
he's
movie, but
acting. Yeah,
well, there's a bit, and it's go, and he's
Maximum
like,
Overdrive, wasn't it?
maybe, but it was like,
Yeah,
he's like, hi, I'm Stephen King, and I thought, directing could be quite fun. Like he's clearly on something when
yeah, yeah, yeah.
he's like, that's directing. Really, look, he got over it with all the pasts.
Oh, and
Um,
because he did a really terrible version of the Kingdom, a Lars von Trier thing as well.
all right,
Yeah. Oh, anyway, I quite like some of his books. Though, to be
writes
fair,
1,000 words a day, no more, no less.
fair enough. That
Whereas Graham
worked for many
Greene,
authors. Graham Greene, yeah.
500, 500 is standard, but
Okay.
King's obviously very prolific.
Yeah, he needs better editors though. Anyway, I'll tell you what. Wish George R. R. Martin did.
What?
You're still complaining about those?
What's that?
Have you never heard it? Was it the
He
Dragons
did
with
the
Tits
yeah,
TV
Dragons and
show?
Tits. Yeah,
Yeah, he just haven't finished the book, so has he? Everyone's very angry
has
about
he
that.
not?
No,
Is that still going on?
he's been writing that last one for about 13 years, and it's still not published.
It's not the Sagrada Familia, mate. Come on.
Apparently, it is. I think he painted himself into a bit of a corner, and then like, I think he's one of those people who's good
Well,
at world building, but he's not so much at the plot resolution. Anyway,
it reminds me of when I was about 14, 15. Me and my mate Adam started writing a choose your own adventure book, but
hmm,
like surrealist comedy stuff, like because
yeah,
I've
yeah,
always been an idiot like this. And we got through like a whole textbook, and then we were like, right, we should probably go back and start like
yeah, yeah.
doing some of the actual
Actual things
storylines.
we can give, yeah,
And it was like it was basically like Skyrim. We were like, oh, we've got like 50 branches already, so
yeah.
I don't quite know what we're going to
We're
do.
gonna do next. Yeah,
Gave up.
no, fair enough.
We started doing stuff like, um, you wait, you wait. Do you decide to camp here for the night, or do you decide to carry on? And then if you just just like, you decide to camp for the night, when you get up in the morning, you go to make a cup of tea and find out there's no sugar, so you throw yourself show yourself off the nearest cliff, the end, like just stuff like that.
See, that reminds me quite a lot of those books, where it would be something like, "Oh, do you camp for the night? Yeah, a vampire kills you,
Yeah,
or
we
whatever."
just started just like,
And it's always like, "Oh no," and then you're supposed to go back and start again. It's like, "Oh fuck
yeah,
that!" No, and if you do that book page, you go, no, I think I'll.
yeah, literally
I wasn't
reload
quite
and
sure
that.
about that one. Yeah,
Yeah, just reload.
yeah.
Last save
Oh,
point.
those are
So
the days. Right.
how's it
Anyway,
how's
narrative
it premise?
premise. I forgot where I was. Yeah, there's something you can do with this, but it's a bit cliche. It depends when it was written, really. Haunted Theme Park. I mean, it's not that original, is it? 4 out of 10. I don't
Well,
think there's that much to it. Well, we'll see, won't we? We'll see because
we'll
we've got our
see.
challenge, so we'll see.
So
I might have just mowed myself off in the other
every
direction.
accusation a
What I've done is
confession
cover
now.
myself off there because I've said there's not much you can do with it. You see, so even if it's shit, then I go well. I did say it was a 4 out of 10
Yeah,
premise.
how long have you worked on IT
Yeah.
projects?
If I'd written the premise, this would be much better. We, but I
Right.
was constrained. What am I going to do?
Very too constrained. Too many requirements
Yeah,
thrown in at the end. There's too much
go
slippage.
creep.
Go
Just,
creep.
oh.
No. I
On,
thought,
on this budget, oh, you're lucky you got anything. Whew.
at the end of the day, you've said you want this, but you're not willing to put in the time for me to get what I need. So unfortunately, we're gonna have to put it on the back burner for now, and you're gonna have to reapply for the resource.
Right, narrative premise. Nobody wants to hear office jokes.
4
Good.
and reach. I think it's relatively well known
Do
creepypasta,
you?
but no, I don't know. I don't know creepypastas well enough to make that assessment. So I'm going
It's
to give it.
creepypastas at kind of a high reach full start, in my opinion.
So I'm going to give it a 2-0 for reach.
I'll give it a 1.
Give it a 1. I haven't been adding up the scores either. Just a bit off
It's
today.
10.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, we've not been at the races, have we? Never mind.
14.
Better next week.
26 nil. 26.
26. That's
Not too bad. Not too, There's something there.
The
There's something.
believability was there for me to an extent, as I say, but mainly because it was so mundane. But yeah, it
So
certainly wasn't a good.
we will be able to use our scoring system to score our own, which is good.
Well, we'll do it. Let's say we'll do them as bonus eps, or
Yeah.
do it as a bonus ep. Yeah,
So, right now I'm going to do a piece to camera now because you don't like this
nice,
part of things. Hi,
fair
piece to
enough.
camera. If you could, or if you fancy it, please subscribe and like. I know you meant to say this at the top, but we're different. Um, and yeah, leave comments and stuff. We crave interaction. And if you are someone who enjoys the stuff and fancies chucking a five, we've got a Ko-Fi there and everything as well. So that's it. Don't have to do any of it, but I've got to say it because it makes us look more professional. Like people who hold up their mics, have their mic in shot so that they look
Oh
professional.
yes,
See, we also don't have mics.
speak directly into the mic. Oh yes.
I'm speaking into your mind. So that's it for this week. And yeah, a bit shorter, thankfully. And all of you take care. And we love you very much. And we'll be back with something new next Thursday. Ta-da!
Goodbye.